Oh, hi there. I'm Dark Shade. Sorry about the headphones and the microphone. For some reason, the volume is really low. So, anyway, I'm Dark Shade. Welcome to my channel. First time you're passing by, you're welcome to hit the like, subscribe, share. I must say that, I don't know if I'm relevant. I don't know if I talk about things that you want me to talk about. You can always send me a comment and ask me or send me an email. All the details are in the description below. All you've got to do is click on that little arrow and it shows you the information. So you can always ask me anything that you would like me to talk about. Anyway, today I decided to talk about men who just distance themselves or pull away, and it seems to be for no reason. You haven't done anything wrong. If you've done something wrong, this is totally different. If you've done something wrong, you've been disrespectful, you've had a massive argument, you can't take things back you've said, your behaviour has been obnoxious of late, you've been cussing him out, then that is totally different. But supposing everything's been going on as normal, you might have had a little disagreement, or you might not have had a disagreement at all, and you notice that your man is pulling away. What is going on? What happens if they pull away for a long time? What is a long time? Well, it depends on how often they were in contact with you before. If they used to call you every day and then all of a sudden you don't hear from them for 2 weeks, then that rings alarm bells. If they used to ring you once a week or twice a week and then you don't hear them for the whole week, it's alarm bells, providing they are well and there's nothing wrong with them. So you'll have to ask yourself, why is my man pulling away when everything seemed to be going so well? So it doesn't really matter whose fault it is. If you've had an argument, say you've had an argument, your fella could think that, oh my God, too much drama. Can't take the drama. I'm out of here. Some men don't like drama. They like things kind of hunky-dory. It's like they want to be in an eternal paradise. They want to be in the honeymoon period 24/7. So if there's a slight little bit of drama, it might remind them of something from their childhood. They may withdraw. If you don't know your man very well, you need to find out a little bit about their background to see how they might react in certain situations. So he might use any excuse to keep himself. To himself. Yeah, what I wanted to say about that is that sometimes it might just be a situation where he just needs time to reflect. You've had a really full-on relationship. It seems a bit heavy. You're starting to talk seriously. It gets a bit scary. It's nice in the moment when you're lovey-dovey and you might be making love, or you might be cuddling up on the chair, on the sofa, or in the bed, and you're saying all these lovely things. And that, yeah, when you go away and you go back to your respective homes and you're like, bloody hell, why did I say that? Why did I get caught up in the moment? I don't even mean it. And then they might start withdrawing because they realize that what they said, they didn't mean. They don't know how to say to you that they didn't mean it. So they withdraw a little bit so you get the message that, hey, he told me he loved me. He told me he wanted to marry me. He told me he wanted to move in with me. He told me he wanted to have kids with me. And now he's withdrawn. So that tells me he wasn't serious. So hopefully he's hoping that by him withdrawing, it means that you will know that what he said was on the spur of the moment and he didn't mean it. So sometimes it might just be to reflect. Sometimes, like I said, if a relationship has been full on, you need time to breathe. You need time to rejuvenate. You need time to get back to yourself. Relationships have a way of draining you, taking something away from you. Sometimes it's not deliberate, but sometimes relationships take away a part of who you are. That applies to both men and women. Some women put everything on hold when they're with a relationship. They stop talking to friends. They don't do things that they would normally do when they're in a relationship. And it's different if you're not living with a partner and you only see them occasionally. Then maybe you want to give them quality time. But if you see your partner all the time, you have to get back to how you were when you were single. You have to get your life back. You have to have options. You have to have friends. If that man feels solely responsible for your company and for your happiness, it's going to be too much responsibility for him, and he's going to need to withdraw in order to recoup. So he may just want to renew his reserves, in other words. It might be an excuse to call it a day. He might have had his doubts before. He might have been with you, and even though things have been going okay, he hasn't really been too sure about you. So this is his way of saying, look, ciao. But whatever you do, when he withdraws, don't run him down. Too many women, when a man withdraws, they start looking at themselves and start blaming themselves and calling up to apologize for something they haven't done. When he withdraws, leave him. Leave him to come around. Leave him to rejuvenate. Leave him to breathe. There is nothing worse when you want your space and you've got somebody calling you every 5 minutes saying, oh, you're right, you haven't called me. Why haven't you called me? Oh, I miss you. I want you. I need you. What's going on? Is anything going on? Are you seeing someone else? Blah, 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 blah. It's not a good look. So don't suffocate him. Leave him time to breathe. You had a life before you met him. Get back your life. Now he's giving you a break. Take advantage of the break. It usually is a break. I don't know one ex that doesn't want to come back eventually. They all do, providing you've been a reasonably good woman, that is. If you've been a horrible woman, no one's going to want to come back. But providing you've been a good woman, a man is always going to think about you occasionally. And sometimes, if you've been a really good woman, they might say, you know what? I shouldn't have left her. I shouldn't have blanked her. I shouldn't have ghosted her. You know what? I wonder how she's going to feel if I call her. And you can call her and see how she feels. If you catch her in the right frame of mind, she might be receptive. If she thinks you were a bastard, she's going to say F off, isn't she? You've got nothing to lose. You don't know if she's going to be receptive or not. All depends how the relationship ends, whether or not you ghosted her. If you ghosted her, it's going to be a bit hard to just, unless maybe she's got a low self-esteem, it might be a bit harder to pull someone in who you've just decided to go silent on for no reason. Okay, but sometimes no reason might be a reason for some people. Sometimes it takes the smallest little thing for somebody to be put off. There are some people who think they want to be in a relationship and they don't. And they go through the whole machinations of a relationship thinking, oh yeah, this is what I want, when really it's not. And then when they realise it's not and they feel as though they've gone in too far, they just want to withdraw. It's not your fault. You don't have to run them down. You don't have to find out what's wrong. You go, let them go their way. You go your way. There's plenty of fish in the sea. You know what? The other day I went to the pharmacist. And the reason why I'm mentioning this is because it's amazing how you meet people. So I went to the pharmacist to pick up a prescription. Lo and behold, I heard this guy say to me, oh, I forget what he said, but he was a Jamaican. Do I attract Jamaicans or do I attract Jamaicans? Anyway, and when I turned around, he was so bloody good looking. And he was there chatting me up. He's moved up to Luton from London. And, he was just chatting away. And I thought to myself, just look at that. I'm not interested. But if I was, you can even go to the bloody pharmacist and meet someone. You know what I mean? So don't think that just because you're locked down or because you're not going to a party or because you're not going out as often as you usually do, you can't meet someone. You can. And that's the only thing that made me smile. I said, I have to say this on my video because, people do think, especially people on their own, they do think, how the hell am I going to meet someone? If you're meant to meet somebody, you will. So, occupy yourself with things you love doing. Occupy yourself so he doesn't occupy your time. And this is for women, not men. This video is for women. And don't allow him to be, don't be preoccupied thinking about him. Just be occupied developing yourself, professional development, personal development, making, educating yourself, just doing stuff. If you did, cooking, whatever it is, find something for it, as they say. Maybe the relationship has run its course. You might have thought it was the one, but every relationship has a season. Some people come into your life for a reason, some come into a season, some come into a lifetime. You never know at the time that you meet somebody what their purpose is in your life. Sometimes relationships come in your life to teach you something about yourself. Once you've learned what it is there is to learn, that person served their function and they just disappear. It's as though they didn't even exist. It's fascinating how relationships work. And then yet other relationships, you're meant to be with them forever. So don't force it. That's all I'm saying. Everyone's got free will. They talk about soulmates. They talk about twin flames. But if somebody doesn't want to be a twin flame, or if somebody doesn't want to be your soulmate, you can't force them to be. Even though you recognize that they may be your soulmate, you can't force them to stay with you. So you just have to let them go. If they're ordained, if they are meant to be for you, they will come back at some point. If they're not, then they fly, they've done their job. Even if it's for a day, even if you've only met them once, just think back. What did I learn from that experience? What did I learn from their communication? What did I learn from their presence in my life? For those few moments, what did he teach me? And that's what you need to do when you meet people. Don't take it for granted that everyone you meet, you're supposed to be with them forever. That's not the way it goes. God has a bigger plan for all of us, and nobody knows what that plan is. So all we do is we follow our instincts, we follow our heart, we be as loving and as kind and as accepting as possible, and whatever is yours will come to you. So if you're meant to be together, you will be, in other words. Sometimes, depending on how they withdraw, sometimes it's a silent treatment. Silent treatment is usually an agreement. I like to call it an agreement or a determinant. That silence can either say, I don't care about you anymore. I need time to reflect. I need space. It can be, I need reassurance that you care. Or it can be a control mechanism. I'm going to let you call me so I know I've got you under my control. I can then steer things in the direction I want it to go if I know you care about me enough to break the silence. So if you've done nothing wrong in your mind, no need to apologize to make it right. It would only make you look insecure. So stand by your words, your actions, provided they were respectful, and move on if necessary. Sometimes when you have an argument, you say things that you really regret and you shouldn't have said. And sometimes you can't even remember what you said. That's worse. Because if you can't remember what you've said, you can't know how deep it cut and hurt the other person. So in relationships, it's always, even if you're upset, it's always best to be respectful. And I believe if you're coming from a loving place, loving words automatically come out of your mouth. If you're coming from a place of fear, of insecurity, spiteful, nasty words will come out of your mouth and you can't take them back. And when you think about it, nobody wants to be around somebody who's having a go at them all the time, who's nagging, all those kind of things. It might be fun in the beginning, but people want to be around people who are nice, who are gentle, who are kind, especially when the pandemic is on. You don't want to be around people who are miserable and angry and upset and who shout and who curse and who F and blind. You don't want to be around people like that. You have people who are so opinionated and so arrogant and so feel, they're going like they're superior. You don't want to be around people like that, especially now when you're locked in. And when I say locked in, not necessarily locked into your home and you can't get out, but you're kind of locked into a situation at the moment that you have limited control over. So, whatever you do, if you're still interested in him, despite him giving you the silent treatment, don't pretend you're not. Accept him whenever he's ready to come back with warmth. You don't have to be a doormat, but you can accept him with warmth, and you can tell him, if you want to tell him, that, well, you can find out why he went silent first of all, and then you can find out whether or not you felt it was reasonable, acceptable, and how better you might be able to do that in the future. It's fine for people to go silent. I think, especially somebody like me who likes their space every now and then, I'll normally say, I just need a couple of days, or I might need a week, but I just might need this afternoon, or I might just need tomorrow evening. But if you communicate the space or the time you need for yourself and the other person knows, at least there's no confusion. And that person doesn't have to feel rejected or not wanted or things like that. And please don't offer ultimatums. They don't work. If you say, oh, if I can't see you when I want to see you, it's over. Or you keep going off, and if that's not the way you want, that's not the way you treat somebody you value, and this and that, and you go into one. It's going to, if you don't do this, I'm going to do this and all that. Ultimatums have never worked. You end up getting the short end of the stick, and you also end up compromising yourself and accepting a lesser standard than you would have received had you not provided an ultimatum. If he wants to come back, it's best, and you want him back, it's best just to accept it. You can go on like nothing happened if you want. If you feel as though you need to discuss things, you can do that too. But sometimes things have a way of revealing themselves over time anyway. You don't always have to have all the answers up front. Definitely don't beg. That's not a good look. Don't stalk. Don't send texts, hundreds of texts, well, not hundreds, but don't send too many texts or emails or keep phoning them. Don't do all of that. It's not worth it. Spend time on your goals and with people who can help you meet those goals. Not everybody, maybe your partner. He might be your partner, but he might not be somebody who can help you reach your goals. Reconnect with old friends that you may have put on the back burner for a while. Meet new people. Like I said, there's always ways to meet new people. And you might not be somebody who wants to go online, but do it for fun. Don't get so serious. Life, you have control over your computer. You don't have to give your name. You don't have to put your face up. If you just want to communicate with somebody, you can create your profile, whatever it is you want to be, and you can act that person. It's just about communicating and not feeling alone. So, set up a profile. Give yourself a crazy name. Find out who your alter ego is. Play your alter ego out online. Because that alter ego is still a part of you. And you might be surprised how that other part is. The face that you present to the world might be stern and stiff and prude, but your alter ego might be something totally different. Find out who your alter ego is. Present her to the world. And like I said, learn from the relationship. Don't start feeling sorry for yourself. oh, he's left me, oh, you know, I ain't heard from him, oh, man, I bastard, oh, man, I this, Don't bother with it. It's not worth it. It don't even get you anywhere. It just makes you feel worse. You can even get depressed. It's not worth it. And keep it classy. Keep yourself, you know, in a position where you look good. You speak well. You know, you present yourself in a good way. You're not crass. You know, you don't make yourself ugly by cursing and going on bad. You look good and you look classy and you're elegant. Men can't resist women who are elegant and who are classy. That's how they want the main women in their lives to be. And, you know, that can determine whether or not he calls you or comes back to see you. Whether or not you want to take him back is a different thing, but it does mean that he will come back when he sees that you have presented yourself in a challenging situation in a good light. Like I said, find things to do. The same way a man who is not doing anything is unattractive, the same way a woman who is a couch potato and is not doing anything, it's just as unattractive. You should always have options. Never leave yourself without options. Because it gives you your power. It gives you self-confidence. When you know there's something or someone on the back burner, you feel so much more confident. It does, for certain people, it makes them less committed to the relationship. But I'm not talking about those who are in a solid relationship and then they have somebody, you know, on the side. I'm not talking about that, but I'm talking about having options, friends, relatives, hobbies, things that you can do while you feel, you know, hard done by. So he was attentive, loving and caring 1 minute and then cold, aloof the next. Don't look for reasons within yourself for his behaviour. He's probably battling with demons, insecurities, lack of trust, childhood issues. Just get on with your life and do what you need to do to make yourself happy. If you're still interested and no one has come to take his place, yes, even in lockdown, then you can accept him unconditionally. If you're not interested anymore, just be honest, tell him so, and get on with your life. And I think that is all I'm going to say. Hope it was helpful. Bye-bye.